Chapter 1321, 1321 Strange Star Sea Sprite Appears, 2. 1321 Strange Star Sea Sprite Appears, 2. As for Susu itself, with its quasi-divine level cleansing skill, it shouldn't be that difficult to withstand the affliction. It wasn't like he had never tried a fusion with an extremely low success rate. The only thing he should care about now was the effect of the fused skill. Leave it to me. This depended on Ling's luck and how much it could give Susu. 11. Buggy, Kai Tong, and the other pets also came out to cheer as Shiyu finally wanted to help Susu evolve into a Star Sea Sprite. Optimizing skills was actually also a form of evolution. However, its form might not necessarily change. As for what would become, it still depended on fate. Even Ling found it difficult to analyze and calculate the most complicated thing, evolution. Ning. Finally, Susu jumped onto Shiyu's hand and applied a water ring-shaped sea cleansing spirit to Shiyu's head. Then, it also entered the state of the sea cleansing spirit. Charge! After Shiyu shouted resolutely, he began to add points. After all, the last time, the extremely low success rate was to help Kai Tong evolve and awaken a quasi-divine skill. At that time, he had just finished eating the eternal flower and obtained 10,000 years of lifespan. In an experiment, even with the support of various parties, it directly consumed 90% of its life force and almost died. This time, Shiyu's physique increased by 2 levels in a row compared to back then. However, the success rate was still extremely low. Fortunately, the support abilities of his pets had also been strengthened, so Shiyu felt that he should be able to give it a try. Buzz! Shiyu and Susu entered the skill fusion state together. In an instant, various powers flowed out of Shiyu's body, and Susu's will began to undergo a crazy impact. However, they were too familiar with this state. Compared to caring about this, Shiyu and Susu were more concerned about the changes in Susu when the skills fused. Ning! With a painful cry, the light blue water slime Susu's entire body was covered in light of various colors, such as blue, white, purple, black, and yellow. Light spots flickered on its body. Its body kept reflecting various beautiful colors, as deep and charming as the starry sky. This made 11 and the others nervous and curious. Now, Susu seemed to want to evolve from the water slime to the starry sky slime. At this moment, Shiyu and the others didn't notice that there was an abnormality in the cosmic sea because of their skill fusion. World King Planet's main city, World King City. On the World King Planet, according to the environmental difference, districts could roughly be divided into 3 levels. 3rd level realms, 2nd level realms, and 1st level realms. Among them, the environment of the 3rd level realms was the worst, and the environment of the 1st level realms was the best. Among them, the realm where Sky City was located was the 2nd level realm, and World King City was the largest realm among the 196 1st level realms on World King Planet. The Environmental Protection Association that Shiyu wanted to go to had branches in various 1st level realms, and its headquarters were in this World King City. The Environmental Protection Association was one of the official institutions of the World King Planet. It mainly protected the environment of the World King Planet and the Cosmic Sea. At the same time, it was also the main force of the World King faction against the Dark King faction. In this department, the core members were all divine-level life forms who had mastered the power of divine-level cleansing. There were even super-divine life forms who were familiar with the power of cleansing presiding. In the Environmental Protection Association, there was also a special department at all times to supervise the changes in the universe, for one thing. This hadn't happened for a long time, but the Environmental Protection Association was still paying attention day after day. Until today. The Cosmic Sea was abnormal. The Environmental Protection Association and the World King Star Elephant Research Institute received a mysterious set of data. After difficult deciphering, some researchers came to a conclusion. A new cleansing star spirit has been born, and it's around World King Planet, said the white-haired old man excitedly. It's not easy. This is the first time in nearly 100,000 years, right? That's right, we're really lucky. We have to find a way to find it. Cultivate it hard. As long as it can grow to the peak of the divine level, it's enough to be called a super divine battle power for the Dark King army. Everyone in the Environmental Protection Department was shocked by this matter, and even the super divine life forms presiding over it were alarmed. A super divine life form personally gave the order to find a new cleansing star spirit. The so-called cleansing star spirit was a type of starry sky sprite born from the faith of the planet. After the Dark King grew into a cosmic emperor, formed the Dark King army, and began to expand in the universe, many planets became abysses and lands of fall, completely corroded. In such a context, a race called Cleansing Star Spirits was born. They mastered powerful cleansing powers, could communicate with the power of the starry sky to the greatest extent, and could heavily injure the dark matter life forms that polluted the stars. The first president of the Environmental Protection Association was to cleanse the star spirit race. He was even ranked 77th among the races in the starry sky and squeezed into the top 100. He was very powerful. Unfortunately, although there were many members of this race, there weren't many. Most importantly, apart from being born naturally, there was no way to reproduce. Moreover, their stats and forms were too random, and they weren't that easy to find. It could be said that cleansing star spirits were fresh blood that the Environmental Protection Association loved to nurture and rope in. They were known as having the strongest cleansing abilities. As long as he nurtured this race with all his might, even if he couldn't advance to the super divine level, as long as he was at the peak of the divine level, he could be seen as a super divine life form when dealing with the Dark King army. Chapter 1322, 1322 Strange Star Sea Sprite Appears, 3. 1322 Strange Star Sea Sprite Appears, 3. The cleansing of the star spirit race had left too many legends in the Environmental Protection Association. At the moment, the strongest expert of the Environmental Protection Association was still the cleansing star spirit. Now, after so long, a new cleansing star spirit had been detected. The Environmental Protection Association couldn't let it go. Sky City. Shiyu skill fusion with Susu was already coming to an end. At this moment, Susu had already completely turned into a starry sky slime. Its round body was like a vast starry sky, flickering with beautiful starlight. It was very beautiful. As for Shiyu, who was holding it, he was only skin and bones. Even his white hair had fallen off, leaving only 3 hairs. Behind it, baby Ginseng was also covered in sweat. Finally, after a long, difficult moment, they heaved a sigh of relief together. Shiyu's withered face lit up. F*CK? After cursing, Shiyu couldn't help but be overjoyed. Fusion successful. Skill name, Star Sea Contract. Stats, Water, Space, Spirit. Level, Quasi-Divine Level Faith Skill. Introduction Contract with the Star Sea. Its responsibility is to protect the starry sky environment. It can infinitely mobilize the energy of the starry sky and increase its own cleansing skills. When it loses faith, the contract will automatically be broken. Star Sea Contract. It really came. The Blue Sea Contract's advancement version is the Star Sea Contract. Infinite energy. With this skill, even after leaving Blue Planet, Susu could still have unlimited energy. Moreover, Shiyu could sense that Susu in front of him had indeed become a cosmic life form. This was very important. It concerned whether life forms could leave the life planet and survive and fight freely in the starry sky of the universe. If it weren't a cosmic life form, if it went to the starry sky, its body would be corroded by the mysterious substance contained in the universe. Its state would increase its consumption and it would become more and more weak. It would be like a fish out of water and couldn't survive for a long time. However, if it was a cosmic life form, there was no problem. It could perfectly adapt to the cosmic environment. At the moment, there were already a few cosmic life forms in Shiyu's team, but there were also a few, such as 11 and baby Ginseng, who weren't cosmic life forms yet. The fact that Susu could become a cosmic life form also made Shiyu closer and closer to the title of Cosmic Beast Tamer. Nink! Nink! At this moment, Shiyu and Susu were quite happy. However, Susu looked at Shiyu and hurriedly urged baby Ginseng to treat Shiyu. Yeah. It's replenishing, it's replenishing. Baby Ginseng wiped the bean-sized sweat and kept connecting to Shiyu's life force like it was imparting strength, losing its life force to Shiyu. From today onwards, Susu, your race will be called the Star Sea Sprite. Shiyu chuckled. No, wait, this skill seems to have a greater restriction than the Blue Sea contract. Although it can infinitely mobilize the energy of the starry sky, it can no longer be used by any skill. It can only increase one's cleansing skill? Nink. Susu expressed that it was already very good. Moreover, when you lose faith, the contract will automatically be broken. In that case, we have to participate in the war of a few universe-level big shots in the future. No, it's still too much of a loss to only increase your own cleansing skill. Although your sea cleansing spirit is powerful, its power isn't very high. Let's see if we can fuse the sea cleansing spirit too, and become an even more powerful divine skill. Nink. Alright. Susu's starry sky jelly-like body was poked by Shiyu. It was very happy. Melt, it could even melt. Yeah. As Shiyu and Susu were secretly discussing, baby Ginseng was angry at the side. It hadn't healed it yet. Could it wait until it was healed before thinking of the next step? Chapter 1323, 1323 Susu Duck's Epic Enhancement, 1. 1323 Susu Duck's Epic Enhancement, 1. At night, the River of Stars was dazzling. A tide of starlight flowed into the many realms of the World King planet and also shone on a luxurious room in a sky city. In the room, on the sofa, a limp body was holding a ginseng-type creature while watching the battle video on the screen. Shiyu yawned. He was tired and sleepy. At this moment, Shiyu was weak and fragile. His face was pale, and he looked like he was about to die. However, magically, his vitality increased visibly. Baby Ginseng, who was being held by Shiyu, held a transparent crystal in its hand and sucked it. After Shiyu assisted Susu in evolving into a Star Sea Sprite, baby Ginseng kept using quasi-divine skills to heal Shiyu for a day. It had consumed a total of 3 divine-level stat-free energy crystals and was about to heal Shiyu. The consumption was a little high, but for Shiyu, resources should be used. It was just 200 divine-level energy crystals. Although Blue Planet and the Space Emperor estimated that these resources were enough for Shiyu to use for decades at the divine level. However, as long as he could save cultivation time and quickly become stronger, Shiyu didn't mind using it up in a few months. After becoming stronger, wouldn't there be as many resources as there were? If he really took first place in the God Sealing battle and successfully challenged the divine level, it was worth it to consume more resources. Only by daring to spend resources could he have greater gains. I'm not watching anymore. It's boring. Shiyu switched off the television with a bored expression. Seeing a pile of rare skills, but having nowhere to replicate them was like looking at something that couldn't be done. Yes, it was like watching a food video on an empty stomach but not being able to eat. It couldn't quench his thirst at all. As Shiyu was being nursed, he paid attention to the beast-taming space. After arriving on the World King planet, the pets began to work hard again. Because they couldn't cause a big commotion in the beast-taming space, the special training methods were strange, studying how to target teammates. No one wanted their battle power to be at the bottom. It turned out that it was all right. It was just that they were fighting in the team, but this time, they were going to turn the cosmic God-sealing battle into an internal team competition. If it was embarrassing, it would be thrown into the universe. If this was ranked at the bottom, it could be said to be a lifetime humiliation. To be honest, although Shiyu felt that it was a little strange for 11 and the others to think hard about how to deal with their teammates, he considered that there were many types of pets on his team. If he understood the weaknesses of his teammates, he might be able to use inferences against other enemies. For example, if he thought of how to counter baby Ginseng's time mark, he would indirectly gain the experience to resist the time mark of the time crows of A. I feel that it's enough. After a long time, after Shiyu had almost recovered, he looked for Susu and planned to continue fusing skills. Yee! Baby Ginseng wiped its sweat and looked at Shiyu, who was still unsatisfied. It was on the brink of tears. It looked like it would have to work overtime again. However, when it thought about how the team's energy crystals had been used by it, it was equivalent to covering the entire team's high-level resources to farm skill proficiency. Baby Ginseng accepted it. It was an additional channel to increase the proficiency of the skill compared to 11 and the others. It wasn't a loss. Nink. A moment later, with Susu as the lead, a group of pets ran out. He couldn't miss adding points and fusing skills. As the saying went, knowing oneself and the enemy was the way to win 100 battles. If he didn't even know what skills his teammates had fused, he would lose at the starting line. Of course, when a pet came to fuse the skills, the other pets still obediently assisted and wouldn't fuss about this kind of thing. Next, let's try the development and fusion of the Sea Cleansing Spirit and the Origin Wave. Shiyu said nervously, in theory, there's a success rate. The other pets fell into deep thought. The Sea Cleansing Spirit and the Origin Wave were both super top-notch skills. What else could they fuse? Nink. Who cares? The bold will die from overeating, and the timid will starve to death. Just bet. Stars flickered in Susu's eyes. It had already completely taken on the shape of a gambler, commonly known as an addiction. Then let's do it. Shiyu also grinned. Although the Star Sea contract was powerful, if it wanted to be more powerful, it still had to cooperate with top-notch cleansing skills. It was a little wasteful to only use it with the normal water element cleansing power in the control of the water element. Even with the signature skill of the Blue Sea Sprite, the Sea Cleansing Spirit, it was only powerful in cleansing. It had some shortcomings in other aspects. Therefore, Shiyu tried to see if he could fuse the Sea Cleansing Spirit with Susu's attack skill, Origin Wave. Of course, it was still extremely high risk, but it didn't matter. This risk referred to whether Shiyu could withstand the consumption of the fusion alone. It was naturally dangerous for him alone, but with the support of a bunch of pets, the truth had already proven that the success rate was definitely above 50%. It was just that the process would be a little more tragic. It was completely acceptable. Nink. Next, in Buggy's domain, Kai Tong possessed them, and Ling increased its strength. The pets displayed their abilities. Shiyu and Susu were crying for food and in so much pain that they wanted to die. They were very much like a bunch of doctors and nurses delivering a patient. Woo woo woo. All the best. All the best. Hold on, work harder, the fusion is about to succeed. 11 encouraged their morale and increased Shiyu and Susu's resistance. Just like before, after experiencing many difficulties, Shiyu and Susu, who were covered in sweat, gradually calmed down. Nink, Susu's weak face collapsed. Let me learn the skill. Shiyu was in a twilight state, but he didn't forget to look at the skill. Chapter 1324, 1324 Susu Duck's Epic Enhancement, 2. 1324 Susu Duck's Epic Enhancement, 2. With a look, Shiyu's eyes widened. Fusion successful. Name Origin Wave. Stats, Water. Level, Quasi-Divine Level. Introduction, it contains the Zero Law. Effect, it can cleanse and eliminate impurities that the user thinks are unnecessary or harmful. When developed to the extreme, it could completely eliminate the traces of a life form's existence, including the traces of its existence in the memories of other life forms. Shiyu and Susu were originally immersed in their weaknesses, but after sensing the new skill, they widened their eyes almost at the same time. What the hell? Shiyu couldn't help but say. Nink, Nink. Susu was also stunned. What? At this moment, seeing Shiyu and Susu's expressions, Ling couldn't help but ask. Another top-notch law. Shiyu said in shock, almost dying. He immediately shared the information about the origin fluctuations with the pets present. In the next moment, not only Shiyu, but the entire team was stunned. Zero Law. It can cleanse and eliminate impurities that the user thinks are unnecessary or harmful. This concept was a little ridiculous. Susu thought that 11's metal nature was a harmful impurity, but it could be cleansed. Susu thought that baby ginseng's time mark was a harmful impurity, but it could be cleansed. Susu believed that the traces of the existence of a certain enemy were the impurities of this world and could also be eliminated. Moreover, when developed to the extreme, it was still ridiculous. It was a powerful skill that could affect unrelated people. After erasing the traces of a life form's existence, it could make those related to it directly forget its existence. Shiyu hurriedly compared the difficulty of adding points to the origin wave and realized that, without a doubt, it was another top-notch Law Divine skill. Ha 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 ha. After being stunned for a moment, Shiyu couldn't help but laugh. This was already strong enough. If it was combined with the Star C contract, which could strengthen the power of cleansing, wouldn't it be invincible? Nink, 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 nink. Susu also slapped the table excitedly like jelly and was overjoyed. It gradually realized that the starry sky of the universe would be the stage for the Demon King Susu. What Cosmic Emperor, the Dark King? Die! But in the next second, extreme joy turned into sorrow. Under the stunned expressions of many pets, Shiyu directly fainted. Baby Ginseng was so scared that it immediately increased its strength and even entered the time fruit state. Susu, hurry up and use the origin wave, Ling said. In theory, if you treat Master's negative state as an impurity, you can also cleanse it. Nink. After being stunned, Susu expressed its understanding. It directly activated the Star C contract and origin wave at the same time and aimed at Shiyu. In the next moment, blue ripples appeared on Shiyu's body. With a hum, Shiyu only used a few seconds to recover to his peak state under the blue wave and slowly opened his eyes. It was lively and full of vitality. It was even more spirited than before, adding some points to Susu. Shiyu suddenly got up and said, "What happened?" This scene stunned Shiyu's baby Ginseng on the spot. Yi! Impossible! The towering emperor was shocked. Every pet was shocked. Through the origin fluctuations, Susu directly reduced Shiyu's consumption to its previous state before adding points. How was this a cleansing skill? It had clearly cultivated time reversal into a divine skill. It was complete in an instant. The nourishing effect was much stronger than that of baby ginseng. As for Susu, who had the energy of the infinite Star C to strengthen the origin fluctuations, it consumed almost zero. This made baby ginseng look at Susu like it had been struck by lightning. Susu also looked at baby ginseng in a daze. Although Susu didn't say anything, baby ginseng kept feeling that it had been mocked. This, after Shiyu reacted, he sensed his body's state in disbelief. Woo woo woo! 11 and the other pets shouted. Yeah! Baby ginseng even felt that it was going to be fired. I see. Considering fatigue, aging, weakness, and other negative states as impurities, purification is indeed more powerful than the previous sea cleansing spirit. Previously, it only purified negative emotions, indirectly boosting resistance to resist them, but now, it's eradication. Wait a minute. Shiyu stretched out his hands and muttered to himself, this way, with the energy of the infinite Star C, won't we be able to cheat and let the entire team graduate overnight? After hearing Shiyu's words, before the entire team could be pleasantly surprised, Susu started to exhort solemnly. Nink. I don't think you can. Oh? Shiyu and the others looked at Susu. Ling said, it's because of the intention to use it, right? The Star C contract's responsibility is to protect the cosmic environment. Only then can it infinitely mobilize the energy of the starry sky and increase its own cleansing skill. Just now, Susu used the Star C contract to strengthen the origin fluctuations to help Master cleanse and eliminate all negative states. There's a high chance that it's outside the contract and dot. Nink. Susu nodded. Just as it finished cleansing, it sensed that its compatibility with the Star C contract had decreased a little. Although it didn't affect it now, if it went on for a long time, there would definitely be a problem. As the saying went, when one lost their faith, the contract would automatically be broken. Although the Star C contract was stronger, the restriction seemed to be greater. So scammy, Shiyu couldn't help but say. Ling said, looks like the restraints of the Starry Sky faith on the user are greater than the restraint of the Blue Planet's ocean faith on the user. Chapter 1325, 1325 Susu Duck's Epic Enhancement, 3. 1325 Susu Duck's Epic Enhancement, 3. In that case, doesn't that mean that Susu will be affected in the future when enemies like the Abyss, the Yun race, and so on use the power of the Star C contract? Shiyu said. Ling said, there's a high chance that's the case, but there shouldn't be a need to worry too much. As long as Susu works hard to protect the cosmic environment in the future, its authority to mobilize the power of the Sea of Stars should gradually increase. Now that it has just signed a contract with Star C, it's definitely only equivalent to a newbie. It seems normal to have some restrictions. Nink. Susu nodded and agreed with Ling. As long as it worked hard to protect the Guardian cosmic environment, the power of the Star C contract's feedback would definitely increase. Woo! This is also good, Shiyu said, it's all right. Since I've obtained strength, it's only right to fulfill my obligations. I wonder if adding some points to the Star C contract to increase the level of the contract can slow down this backlash. Susu, unless necessary, don't use the Star C contract first. The effect of the Star C contract on the origin fluctuations is indeed a little ridiculous. But I think even if you don't use the Star C contract to strengthen it, the effect shouldn't be bad if you use the origin fluctuations alone. A single source wave, together with baby ginseng to eliminate and nourish my weak state, should be able to increase the efficiency of adding points. Nink nink. Susu's eyes lit up, indicating that there was no problem. Yeah. Baby ginseng was stunned. It looked like it had been laid off, but not completely. 11, Buggy, Kai Tong, and the others also looked at each other. First, he was happy that Susu had become stronger, and that the next points could be more efficient and happy. Then, he fell into deep thought. Even 11 and Buggy began to feel afraid. Susu's combination skill was too ridiculous. They really didn't want to face the origin fluctuations. They didn't want to face it even more than Baby Ginseng's self-destruction revival. Kai Tong looked at its good sister eagerly. Why did it feel that even with its rich accompanying moves, there was still a huge risk of being beaten up by Susu? Hopefully. Buggy's theory was right. The later it was strengthened, the stronger it was. After Shiyu added points, the current Susu was like little G, reborn. Susu? Race skill. Super level, water quasi-elemental control, transcendent, inheritance water droplet, transcendent, heavenly frost cold energy, transcendent. Quasi-divine level, faith skill, Star C contract, proficient, origin wave, proficient. Taught skill. Super, infinite devour, transcendent. Among them, two quasi-divine skills were fused again by the original quasi-divine skill, the Sea Cleansing Spirit, and the top-notch super skill, Origin Wave, that had been fused many times. The Inheritance Water Drop was developed by Susu through the combination of the Memory Water Drop and the World Tree Fruit. The Reincarnation Fruit was developed by itself and repaired the shortcomings of some Memory Water Drops. For example, if it inputted memories, it would also lose its memory. The effect of this Inheritance Water Drop was undoubtedly stronger. If it was developed into a divine skill and could become the carrier of laws, Shiyu could earn money through this and the World Tree Fruit as a divine skill teacher. As for the Heavenly Frost Cold Energy, it was originally taught as a skill. It was also optimized into race skills with the support of the World Tree Fruit after Susu reached the totem level and had the ability to optimize its race. Unfortunately, Susu had yet to successfully optimize the most cost-effective skill, Infinite Devour. Shiyu judged that this Infinite Devour should be an inheritance skill left behind by the Space Worm race on the Blue Planet. It was because of this abnormal skill that the Space Worm race could dominate the starry sky. From the looks of it, the tyrannical sea legend was the Son of Heaven's will. When the mythical stage revived and Blue Planet had sufficient resources, he might be the strongest batch of legendary and even mythical beast tamers in Dong Huang. Next, it's time to strengthen Ducky, Shiyu said. I can also let Ducky try to see if it can completely control the eye of the evil god. After strengthening Susu, Shiyu now felt that it was no problem to strengthen Ducky to its heart's content. Even if he fused the super divine level resource, the eye of the evil god, with Ducky, it definitely couldn't go berserk under the pressure of big sister Susu. Quack! Upon hearing that, Ducky cried. This day had finally come. 30 years changed many things. It had been dodging the sharpness of the opportunity these days and living quietly. Whether it could rise against the tide and step on the ground next depended on this time. In Little Z's body, the world of stars. Shiyu and the others carefully took out the super divine resource, the eye of the evil god, obtained from killing the blue planet's Abyss Sea. The Abyss demigod with the eye of the evil god would be stronger. Moreover, he could control all pollution sources and expand his faction faster. Apart from that, the eye of the evil god had many magical uses. For example, transforming normal creatures into the Abyss race, or devouring other lives to transform life force into a pollution source. The pollution source was also the core power of the Abyss race. Generations of Abyss demigods had mastered the eye of the evil god. No, or rather, the eye of the evil god had created generations of Abyss demigods. Even the blue sea sprite at its peak couldn't cleanse this tool, but this time, Susu, who had evolved into a star sea sprite, suppressed the eye of the evil god with a star sea contract origin wave. Not bad. Chapter 1326, 1326 Susu Duck's Epic Enhancement, 4. 1326 Susu Duck's Epic Enhancement, 4. Nink. The starry sky slime Susu floated in the air and continued to emit origin fluctuations to cleanse the eye of the evil god. At this moment, just as Ling had speculated, not only did the Star Sea contract not have any backlash, but its strength was also continuing to increase, assisting Susu in cleansing the eye of the evil god. Nink. Susu was extremely excited. It had cleansed the source of the blue planet's Abyss Sea on Blue Planet that it couldn't cleanse after countless reincarnations. This time, it felt that it could finally eliminate its power. It was at the demigod level. At this moment, even the inheritance power left behind by a super divine level could be easily cleansed. Shiyu was certain that there were very few people in the World King Planet's Environmental Protection Association who could do this. It was very difficult to find a second one. Of course, Susu's current goal was not to directly destroy the eye of the evil god. What it needed to do was cleanse the eye of the evil god into an ownerless item, a pure strengthening resource, and give it to Ducky. This way, firstly, it could use waste, and secondly, Ducky could control the eye of the evil god to the greatest extent and not be affected by the eye of the evil god. Quack! Big Sister Susu, all the best! At this moment, looking at the eye of the evil god pressed to the ground by Susu's origin fluctuations, Ducky swallowed its saliva. The thought of counterattacking the first team in its mind slowly dissipated. As expected, the idea of completely crushing Little G was more reliable and realistic. Susu, how long do you estimate? Shiyu asked. Nink. More than a day. Susu said. Shiyu said, all right, I'll add some other skills to Ducky first. We'll wait for you. Quack! Ducky nodded heavily. A day later. Susu finally finished cleansing the eye of the evil god. The most ridiculous thing was that after continuously using 2 quasi-divine skills to cleanse for a day, it didn't consume any energy at all. Apart from its spirit being a little tired, its condition was almost full. This made Shiyu, Ling, and the others deeply realize how terrifying the current Star Sea Sprite race was when dealing with the Abyss bloodline. This was simply heaven's jinx. After purification, the eye of the evil god turned from an unholy, dark, big eye to something like a contact lens. It was very small and completely black. The patterns at the core of the pupil were like the pattern of a V-shaped red bird. Nink, nink. Under Susu's gaze, Ducky trembled and picked up the eye of the evil god. It looked around and realized that 11, Buggy, Kai Tong, and all the other seniors had come here to see it fuse. Little G was also here. Quack! Thank you for your concern, everyone. Come and see me. I'll do my best. Ducky was nervous. Little G said, "Roar. Don't think too much. Everyone is here just to ensure that I can kill you immediately after you go berserk." Ducky? Quack. Thank you. When Ducky heard that, it didn't dare fail. Don't listen to Little G's nonsense. I won't beat you to death, but a beating is definitely inevitable, Shiyu said with a kind smile. All the best. Ducky made an M sound and directly stuffed the evil god Beauty Eye into its left eye. In the next moment, a huge abyssal power directly invaded Ducky's entire body. Quack! Ducky covered its eyes and cried out in pain. Although it had only been stuffed into one eye, the same pattern appeared even in its right eye. Ducky covered its eye with both hands and resisted with difficulty. At the same time, a large amount of abyssal power erupted from its body. In an instant, it polluted the entire island, turning it into an abyss island. Fortunately, with Susu around, it could instantly cleanse this little pollution wave. At this moment, it was even more difficult for Ducky than for the previous abyss demigods. This was because it wanted to completely control the eye of the evil god, so the pressure was even greater. Baby Ginseng, World Tree Fruit. Yi. Susu, Cleanse. Ning. Ducky, hold on a little longer. I'll support you. Shiyu and Ducky directly entered a mental resonance state to assist Ducky. Quack! I am the overlord of the ocean. Don't even think about interfering with me with the power of the abyss. Ducky roared at the sky. It had yet to forget the agreement between the two parties when Shiyu first subdued it. Defeat the abyss together. The power of the abyss could only be its weapon, but it couldn't interfere with it. This was the determination Ducky had made in its heart when it accepted the abyss inheritance in its previous life. Boom! An incomparably terrifying abyssal deterrence erupted from Ducky's body like an Azura demon god, continuing to push back everyone except Susu. This terrifying aura shocked Eleven, Buggy, and the others, and even Little G. It felt that the deterrence of the current duck was even more terrifying than its destructive dragon's might. It could affect the mind more. Roar, Little G growled. That made sense. The World Destruction Demon Dragon was only a clone of the top-notch divine ancestral dragon, but the Abyss Evil God was one of the 3 super-divine existences that had disturbed Blue Planet. Little G trembled. Son of a B*TCH, no way. It felt the aura of Ducky gradually strengthening its enhancement. It felt more pain. Could it be that it would be suppressed by Ducky again after being arrogant for a few days? Roar! A moment later, Little G looked at Ducky, who had fused the affliction with the evil god's beautiful eyes, and abandoned all thoughts. It cheered for Ducky first. Roar! Damn Duck, all the best. As long as the fusion is successful and you control it, you can surpass me. Do you want to fail? Little G's encouragement felt even more effective than Shiyu's psychic resonance support. After Ducky vaguely heard it, its resistance suddenly increased. Chapter 1327, 1327 Susu Duck's Epic Enhancement, 5. 1327 Susu Duck's Epic Enhancement, 5. Quack! After an unknown period of time, the abyssal power released by the duck finally disappeared. At the same time, Ducky looked up. Shiyu, Susu, Ling, Little G, and the others heaved a sigh of relief at the same time, but they didn't completely relax. Quack! I'm blind, but I've become stronger. Duck closed its eyes, stuffed its hands in its pockets, and looked up at the starry sky. It stretched out its hand and condensed a golden cloth with the power of demon vanquishing to tie it to its eyes. 11, Buggy, Baby Ginseng, and the other pets were shocked. Blind? Woo woo woo? Baby Ginseng, can you treat it? Baby Ginseng, yeah. I want to know. Stop fooling around, Shiyu said. It's fine. It's just that the Eye of the Evil God has formed a new ability with the liberation of the abyss and the development of deterrence. Quack! Ducky gave the entire team a thumbs up and chuckled. Name: Eye of the Evil God. Stats: Dark, Water, Spirit, Space. Level: Quasi-Divine Level Faith Skill. Introduction: After opening its eyes, it can directly grab the dark negative energy drifting in the universe and strengthen its abyssal power. The so-called negative energy came from all the negative emotional energy such as envy, framing, comparison, greed, and laziness in life forms. It was considered a different faith skill. It could directly allow Ducky's strength to erupt by a level, but it was also extremely dangerous. However, the strength of this evil god's eye was that it would never lose its source of power. Even if all life in the universe was extinct, the negative energy couldn't disappear. Even if the universe was destroyed and a new cosmic era was changed, negative energy would still be everywhere in the universe. Obviously, this was an ability similar to the Blue Sea and Star Sea contract. Are you sure you can control this power well? Shiyu asked. Quack! If I can't control it, I'll let Big Sister Susu destroy me. Ducky covered its eyes and said very confidently. Nink! I won't go easy on you. Roar! Me too. Little G. Alright, I hope you won't be affected by these skills and can maintain yourself at all times, Shiyu said. Quack! No problem, as long as you help me increase the purification skill. Ducky was blind, but its heart wasn't. It rubbed its hands and still said with desire. Roar! More! Little G was angry. At this moment, 11, Buggy, Kai Tong, and the others believed in the theory that the later they added points, the stronger they would be. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, it's their turn. At the moment, although using the Star Sea contract would reduce the contract speed, fortunately, the origin fluctuations could still be used alone. Under the joint efforts of Susu and Baby Ginseng, the speed at which Shiyu added points to Ducky quickly increased. In just a day, Ducky had become like this. Named Duck. Race Skill. Super Level, Death Vortex, Transcendent, Dark Sky Wave Rain, Transcendent, Water Element Control, Perfect. Quasi-Divine Level, Heart of the Abyss, Expert +11, Vajra Demon Subduing Staff, Proficient, Eye of the Evil God, Initiate, Wave Vision, Heart Eye, Proficient. Just like Little G, they both had for quasi-divine skills. Among them, the Heart of the Abyss was the standard skill of the demigods of the blue planet's Abyss Sea. It was an explosive skill that corroded oneself to obtain powerful battle power. The Eye of the Evil God was similar. It was a powerful, explosive skill. With the two skills stacked together, Shiyu estimated that Ducky could immediately fly into the sky. Its battle power would explode, and it would become the coolest person in the Abyss race. The Abyss race probably didn't believe that it wasn't an Abyss race. The Vajra Demon Subduing Staff was a skill after the duck evolved into a demon subduing duck's racial skill, the Demon Subduing Pestle, which was strengthened to the quasi-divine skill stage. It was a very powerful skill for purging evil forces, serving as a type of purification skill that combined offense and defense. The current form of the duck was a huge duck with a black body and dark blue patterns. On its neck and eyes, pure water that looked like silk strips condensed from the golden blue cleansing power of the demon vanquishing was tied. It also held a Vajra Demon Subduing Staff condensed from golden water in its hand. It was extremely holy. It looked like the Abyss race, but not completely. At the moment, although the duck couldn't open its eyes casually because the power of the Abyss was too powerful, it didn't stop it from sensing everything in the outside world with its mental strength and wave power. Among them, the Wave Vision, Heart Eye, was the result of Ducky's cultivation in this aspect. This was both a reconnaissance skill and a cleansing skill. Wave Vision, Heart Eye, was fused with Ducky's Water Blade, Heart Strike, Heart Sword, Purification, Wave Sword, Super Sight, and a bunch of other skills. Apart from that, it also fused a critical skill. Susu's origin fluctuated. Shiyu replicated Susu's water elemental control and origin wave and taught it to Ducky. Unfortunately, the duck had no compatibility with it at all. Otherwise, it would be the strongest cleansing envoy in the Abyss race. However, even now, with the origin wave as the core, after fusing with a pile of cleansing skills, the wave vision heart I formed was an extremely strong cleansing skill. This was a mind-ocular skill that could directly let Ducky open its heart eye and enter the wave vision state. After entering, it could maintain absolute calmness, predict danger, and also see negative energy dark matter. It could also condense cleansing fluctuations and accurately attack their weaknesses. Its power would double, and its ability to control the power of the Abyss would double. For quasi-divine skills, 2 Abyss explosion skills, and 2 cleansing skills. For a moment, it was hard to say if it was an Abyss race or a member of the Environmental Protection Association. At this point, Shiyu felt that it was time to go to the Environmental Protection Association to register Ducky's identity. At the same time, he also planned to join the official Environmental Protection Association. With Suzu and Ducky's current cleansing abilities, he believed that the Environmental Protection Association would definitely welcome him very much. What nonsense assessment! Come on! Chapter 1328 Examination 1 1328 Examination 1 The Environmental Association, that's conveniently on the way to the Disaster Research Institute, this one. The next day, before Shiyu prepared to set off, he locked onto a coordinate. First level world, Blue Wave World, main city, Blue Wave City. Only in first level realms would there be branches of the Environmental Protection Association. As for this Blue Wave City, not only was there a branch of the Environmental Protection Association, but the Disaster Research Institute introduced by the Space Emperor was also here, so Shiyu definitely had to go there. Shiyu, who was seriously looking at the map, realized that the first-level realm closest to the floating realm was actually still the realm occupied by the 5 god races on Blue Planet. Among the 5 god races on Blue Planet, the Dragon, Phoenix, and Kirin races occupied a first-level realm, and the Angels and Demons occupied a first-level realm. Unfortunately, it wasn't on the way to the Disaster Research Institute. In order to not waste time, he didn't do it. After all, teleportation money was very expensive. The size of the World King planet was impossible to estimate. If he wanted to go far, using the Interworld Teleportation Array was the only choice. However, the price of using the Interworld Teleportation Array wasn't cheap. Even if it was a divine level, it would take a long time to go on a long trip. If it was at the demigod level, it would be bankrupt. Therefore, every year, as long as it was the God-sealing battle and when it was time to go to a first-level domain to register and participate, the organizers could rely on the ticket money to earn a lot. After all, the organizer and the faction that established the teleportation arrays of the various realms were both the officials of World King Planet. Such things with huge benefits were all monopolized. Even if the Space Emperor himself knew how to build teleportation arrays, he couldn't build them randomly. He could only build them within the range of his realm. If there were any facilities in Sky City that didn't belong to the Space Emperor, then the Realm Teleportation Array was one of them. Fortunately, the God-sealing battle didn't need any registration fee. Otherwise, the number of participants could be halved. Even now, not every demigod had the energy to participate continuously. After all, it was all right if they were rich, but if they were still weak and poor, if they were beaten up a little more miserably one time, they would have to recuperate for a few years before they could fight again. Senior Space Emperor, I'm going to set off. My goal is Blue Wave City. When I reach there, I'll tell you that I'm safe. Don't miss me. Shiyu. After Shiyu left a message for the Space Emperor, he set off directly. As for the Space Emperor, he shook his head slightly after discovering the message left behind by Shiyu. This is his first time going out to train. There shouldn't be any accidents, right? Fortunately, there are more old friends in the Blue Wave world. I should be able to help take care of him. Half a month after arriving at the World King planet, Shiyu finally left Sky City and headed to other unfamiliar places to train in a larger district. Shiyu took the identity card that the Space Emperor had given him and easily completed the teleportation process. There was nothing special about the so-called identity card. It recorded the name and the realm it belonged to, not even caring about gender, age, and level. Name, Shiyu, affiliation, floating realm. The latter was the most important thing. After Shiyu arrived at the Environmental Protection Department, he also had to use this to prove that he wasn't someone of unknown origin before he could give Ducky an identity certificate. With this, it was basically equivalent to a realm lord vouching for the user of the identity card. He was a citizen of their realm. If Shiyu himself didn't belong to any domain, then if he brought Ducky to the Environmental Protection Department, he would probably be suppressed as an unregistered person before he even accepted the assessment. In short, travel between realms was as troublesome as going abroad on Earth. In fact, every realm could indeed be seen as a country. The local customs in every place were different. Even the internet wasn't enough to connect all places together. Some realms didn't welcome mechanical life at all, and some realms even set up exclusive local area networks. Shiyu's trip this time was equivalent to a trip abroad. However, he had already completed the transplanetary trip. Traveling abroad wasn't a big deal. After paying another teleportation fee worth several level 9 resources, Shiyu felt the pinch. F***CK. Ordinary beast tamers would probably never be able to leave the floating realm in their lifetime. However, there was no need for ordinary beast tamers to go out. The floating realm of the Space Emperor, as the world overlord, was larger than more than 10 Dong Huangs. Just this side was enough. Woo woo woo. In the luxurious teleportation tower, 11 climbed onto Shiyu's shoulder and pointed at the sky. Look Grey Machine Tilda. Yes. Shiyu also looked up at the sky through the transparent glass. A huge, totem-level passenger plane had just flown over. He didn't know where it was heading. Sitting on a mechanical life form was also an important transportation tool to sail in the universe on the World King planet. The price was much cheaper than a spatial teleportation array, but the time needed would definitely be longer. Sky City also had divine-level transportation that crossed domains, but Shiyu found it too time-consuming and couldn't be bothered to take it. How could such transportation be as convenient as a spatial teleportation array? He could reach his destination in the blink of an eye. Let's go. It's about time. Shiyu glanced at the time. Woo woo woo. 11 pointed ahead with one arm. Charge! Although he had been in the limelight in the Sky City arena a few days ago, Shiyu still seemed to be a small transparent figure in Sky City. No one knew him at all. Throughout the entire process, Shiyu entered the teleportation room to the Blue Wave domain under the guidance of the navigator. Fortunately, although the Blue Wave domain was relatively far, it wasn't too far. He could reach it with just one teleportation. If he wanted to go to other further realms, he would probably have to empty 3 to 4 stations. The teleportation fee would be super doubled. Chapter 1329 Examination 2 1329 Examination 2 The Blue Wave domain was known as the Plant Sea Kingdom. The most eye-catching characteristic was its vast grassland. The endless green grassland was as dazzling as a wave under the wind. The entire realm was wrapped in various novel spiritual plants and divine plants. It was famous for producing various plant resources in the surroundings. The surrounding realms maintained a good trade relationship with the Blue Wave realm. This was because the Lord of the Blue Wave world was a plant life form at the super divine level. In this world, plant-type creatures were the mainstream. Countless plant-type divines had lived here for a long time. The human races left in this world had also been on good terms with these plant-type divines for generations. Both parties maintained a long contract and cooperated with each other. This was a realm filled with the aura of nature and close to nature, but modern facilities didn't fall behind. When Shiyu teleported over, he discovered that the technological level here seemed to be about to exceed Sky City. The foundation of a first-level realm was still strong. Moreover, there weren't many people in the teleportation tower in Sky City, and there were very few staff. However, Shiyu realized that there was a sea of people in the teleportation tower here. Under the guidance of the staff, after leaving the teleportation room, Shiyu saw an endless stream of experts coming to the Blue Wave world through the teleportation array from other realms. He was squeezed into the sea of people and almost lost his way for a moment. Damn, why is it even more lively than the metro in the city? Are all of you so rich? Shiyu accompanied the crowd. He left the teleportation tower and entered Blue Wave City. Then, standing outside the teleportation tower, he looked at this big city that was perfectly combined with nature. After thinking for a moment, he decided to rely on Senior Space Emperor's old friend, the director of the Cosmic Disaster Research Institute in Blue Wave City, Dr. Moen. No. It was better to take the assessment first. There was an environmental protection department here. There should be a bunch of environmental protection hunters. It wouldn't be good if he was caught in advance. Ling Shiyu called Ling and said, "Let's see if we can connect to the internet here. Help me book a place to stay. I want a better environment." Money isn't a problem. Shiyu also realized that the natural energy of the Blue Wave realm was much more abundant than the floating realm. Baby Ginseng should like this place very much. Then, confirm the location of the Environmental Protection Department. We'll go over now. Roger, Ling's clone, which had turned into a mechanical bracelet and was hanging on Shiyu's wrist, immediately replied. Woo woo woo. At this moment, after arriving at the destination, 11 crawled out of Shiyu's pocket that was connected to the beast-taming space and climbed onto Shiyu's shoulder to look around. Don't you feel very strange? The natural atmosphere is clearly rich, but the tempo is very fast. Shiyu stood by the street and looked at the endless stream of people as he said to 11. Sob. 11 nodded. At this moment, Ling spoke and said, Master, it's been reserved. The location of the Environmental Protection Department has been confirmed. I'll activate the navigation for you. We can use the public teleportation array in the city to go over. In addition, I discovered that the Environmental Protection Department here seems to have opened an online appointment channel. I'll also make an appointment for you. All right, let's go. Shiyu, who was wearing a panda suit, had a panda on his shoulder. He hummed a tune and began to head to the Environmental Protection Department. Environmental Protection Association, Blue Wave Branch. It was located in the north of Blue Wave City and occupied a huge building complex alone. Soon, Shiyu arrived. He realized that there were green sprouts and blue water droplets hanging everywhere. It looked like this was the right place. Before entering the building complex of the Environmental Protection Department, Shiyu sensed a magnificent cleansing aura coming at him. In the building complex, various spiritual plants that cleansed the air instantly made Shiyu and 11, who was on his shoulder, almost intoxicated. Wood element pets are also experts in cleansing. Baby, now that you have the control of wood, apart from cooking, you can also study other usage methods, such as cleansing and using poison, Shiyu said. In the Research Institute of the Beast-Taming Space, Baby Ginseng snorted. Needless to say, it had long prepared to add different toxins to every self-destruction. At that time, with a few strong toxins mixed together, even if it couldn't blow up the opponent, it could still poison him to death. Woo woo woo. 11 despised it. Poison was meaningless. Wasn't it better to fight head-on? Let's go in. There were also many people here. In the Environmental Protection Association building complex, people came and went. There was basically no existence weaker than level 7, which was the legendary level. From time to time, he would encounter two guys he couldn't see through. Shiyu could also confirm that they were divine level big shots. After entering the Environmental Protection Association building complex, he didn't encounter any obstacles. There were several buildings here that were handling business. Shiyu casually entered a tall building, and immediately, a tall receptionist welcomed him. Hello, is there anything you need to do? I have an appointment to give the Abyss Pet an identity certificate, Shiyu said directly. In the Environmental Protection Association, there were many businesses that could be handled. To a certain extent, this place also bore some of the functions of the hospital. They could spend money to find a cleanser to help cleanse various negative toxins and relieve mental pressure. Apart from that, if they wanted to join the Environmental Protection Association and buy cleansing equipment, they could do it here. All right, please tell me your appointment number. The receptionist was surprised. She glanced at 11 on Shiyu's shoulder and found a tablet on a pillar table to pick it up before continuing to communicate with Shiyu. Chapter 1330, 1330 Examination, 3. 1330 Examination, 3. 4675 The business Shiyu handled was indeed rare. Issuing certificates to the Abyss Pets was basically done by the members of the Environmental Protection Association who had gone to the Abyss battlefield. They were the group who came into contact with the Abyss Pets the most. As for young people like Shiyu, who wasn't a member of the Environmental Protection Association, it was very rare for him to contract an Abyss Pet. After all, which normal person would contract that thing? Of course, although it was rare, it wasn't impossible. After all, the number of outsiders to World King Planet wasn't small. Beast tamers from other planets were migrating over at all times. Well, the cleanser in charge of handling your business is our association's divine-level cleanser, Master Adolf. I'll bring you over, the receptionist said. All right, thank you. Shiyu nodded. At the same time, in a private building in the Environmental Protection Association building complex, an old man with grey curly hair was leisurely drinking tea. Just as he put down the empty cup, a black-haired young woman with tan skin beside him poured him another cup. Little Chun, prepare yourself. An Abyss contractor will come to apply for an identity certificate later. You're in charge of assessing him. Me? Teacher, what about you? The woman named Little Chun was stunned. I just returned from the battlefield. Master Adolf laughed and said, it's precisely because of this that I let you come. You've been gone for 3 years. It's a good opportunity to see your improvement during this period of time. You're not far from the divine level, right? All right, all right. Little Chun put down the teapot and said, in that case, the person who came to settle the business is also at level 9? Yes, otherwise, it wouldn't be assigned to me, Master Adolf said. Assessment of a level 9 should have been done by him, a divine-level cleansing master. However, with him watching, it wasn't a problem to deal with his obedient disciple. Adolf smiled and looked at his disciple. At level 9, his student should be extremely outstanding. He had contracted 2 demigod-level pets, one of which was a wood element pet that had mastered the cleansing divine skill, and the other was a Yi race pet of the wood element that had mastered the power of poison pollution. Purification-type pets were the other party's initial pets. As for the Yi race, just like the Yun race and the Abyss race, they were both factions of the Dark King. The Yun race was metal, the Abyss race was water, and the Yi race was wood. They were all races with very powerful pollution abilities. Originally, as an environmental protection hunter of the Environmental Protection Association, Little Chun shouldn't have contracted a pet of the clan. However, in order to understand the enemy better and carry out some special battles, she still chose to contract and nurture a hostile pet from scratch, and she cultivated and got along pretty well with it. Such a combination also made it best for Little Chun to obtain good results in the God-Sealing battle and enter the top 10,000. In the entire World King Planet, the entire battle result was already enough to be called a proud daughter of heaven. It was definitely more than enough to give ordinary level 9 assessments. After all, she wasn't a flower in a greenhouse, but an environmental hunter who had been to the Starry Sky battlefield. The other party is here, Master Adolf said. Oh? He's quite young. As Master Adolf finished speaking, the receptionist brought Shiyu over. Master Adolf, this Mr. Shiyu has made an appointment for the identity assessment of the abyssal pet, the receptionist said. I understand. You can go down first, Master Adolf said. At the same time, he looked at Shiyu. At this moment, Shiyu also looked at Master Adolf and the woman beside him. A divine level and a level 9. Master Adolf, hello. My name is Shiyu, and I'm from the Floating Realm. Shiyu immediately introduced himself. Hello. Master Adolf stood up and focused his attention on 11. There's no need to be nervous. Let's talk first. This is also part of the identification process. The Abyss pet you contracted shouldn't be this, right? How many pets have you contracted? Yes. Shiyu nodded and said, I have another one. Come on, tell me first. Where did you contract your abyss pet? Master Adolf said. My mother planet was once invaded by the abyss race. Although the seniors on my mother planet repelled the abyss race, the other party still left an inheritance on my mother planet, causing many native lives to be turned into an abyss. The abyss pet I contracted is one of them. It was originally an ordinary water element life form. After coming into contact with the power of the abyss, its stats changed. However, its talent isn't bad, and it can control the power of the abyss. I see. How long have you been on the World King planet? Master Adolf said. It's been less than a month, Shiyu said. Master Adolf smiled and said, well, next, you need to send your abyss pet to complete a battle. Your examiner is also a life form who has mastered similar powers. What you need to do is maintain your rationality under the other party's pollution. This is one of the assessments. There's no problem, right? No problem. Shiyu nodded and said, however, are we taking the assessment here? Yes, here is fine. Little Chun, I'll leave it to you. Adolf sat down again and said to the woman beside him. The woman sighed and looked at Shiyu. My name is Xie Jichuan. Next, I'll be your examiner. Now, you can summon your abyss pet. After saying that, she also activated the summoning array. In the golden summoning array, a huge black mushroom with colorful stripes appeared beside her. Chapter 1331 Examination 4 1331 Examination 4 All right. At the same time, Shiyu also activated the summoning array and summoned the nervous duck. In the next second, on the golden summoning array, the huge black duck with its eyes covered appeared on the spot. Quack! As Ducky appeared, Xie Jichuan said, is that it? What's wrong with its eyes? Shiyu said, a seal. Its abyssal power is too strong. It's usually sealed. Remove it, Xie Jichuan said. Let it erupt with all its might with the power of the abyss. During this process, I'll let it lure your abyss pet into continuing to go berserk through pollen. I want to see the strength of your control over the power of the abyss. Ah. Shiyu and Ducky were stunned. Why, is there a problem? Xie Jichuan frowned. No, Shiyu was originally worried that Ducky's explosive power was too strong, but when he recalled that there was a divine-level cleanser beside him, he instantly wasn't worried anymore. In that case, Ducky, unlock the seal of the eye of the evil god. Quack! Ducky nodded and directly pulled open the sealed eye band, revealing its closed eyes. It began to slowly open them. On the other side, the mushroom of the Yi race also began to activate a special poisonous domain, turning the surroundings into a purple poisonous world. In the poisonous world, invisible poisonous pollen began to enter Ducky's body through its skin. This should be a quasi-divine skill. In an instant, Ducky felt that the abyssal power in its body was like a wild horse that had escaped its restraints. It began to become irritable and out of control. Bang 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 bang. Ducky's heart began to beat strongly. The heart of the abyss was activated. At the same time, as it opened its dark red eyes, a terrifying aura gradually spread on Ducky. Initially, Master Adolf was still sitting there to watch the commotion, but suddenly, his expression became serious. Quack! At this moment, as the eye of the evil god and the heart of the abyss opened together, a shocking aura wave swept out. Ducky's entire body crazily absorbed the negative energy drifting in the starry sky of the universe, transforming into a monstrous abyss wave that shook the sky and earth. It instantly formed an endless abyss aura. Abyssal fluctuation swept up with vast might, instantly making the poisonous domain wrapped around the battlefield tremble, as if it would collapse at any time. Boom! Ducky looked at the examiner with its dark red eyes. In the next second, the poisonous domain completely collapsed. The terrifying abyssal deterrence directly forced the mushroom and Xie Jichuan of the Yi race, whose expressions changed drastically, back. The domain. Creator, the poison mushroom of the Yi race, who had endured the main pressure of the abyssal fluctuations, looked into the duck's eyes as if it had seen a terrifying existence. It directly revealed a shocked expression, and its eyes couldn't help but turn white. "Impossible," Xie Zhichuan said in shock. Master Adolf's expression suddenly changed. At this moment, the abyssal fluctuations erupting from Ducky's body were comparable to the divine level. For a moment, the terrifying abyssal fluctuations caused the Environmental Protection Association to tremble. Strange, unholy, powerful, and deep. At this moment, the eye of the evil god vividly displayed these adjectives. Ducky's current aura was powerful enough to instantly affect the mind of a demigod. It didn't look like an abyss demigod at all, but the real abyss god in the abyss battlefield. What the hell? Seeing this, Adolf was in disbelief. He couldn't understand why this duck hid such terrifying abyssal power. It actually instantly knocked out the other demigod-level life form? He immediately summoned his divine-level partner to prevent this duck from going berserk. In his opinion, if he didn't control the crowd control in time, something big would happen. Wait, Master Adolf. However, at this moment, Shiyu immediately said, it can control it. Quack! Just as Shiyu finished speaking, Ducky roared. Golden light spread from its body, and the wave vision, heart eye, activated. The Vajra demon subduing staff wicked was filled with holy light condensed in its hand. 2 power fluctuations, 1 gold and 1 black, spread on Ducky's body. Quack! With the Vajra demon subduing staff in hand, the duck was like a Buddha and a demon. With a shake of its arm, all the filth in its eyes was instantly shattered accurately by it. The abyssal power that was stimulated by the other party's pollen was immediately suppressed by the duck. Boom! 2 different powers, 1 holy and 1 unholy, intertwined on Ducky's body, making Master Adolf and Xie Zhichuan suddenly tremble. How was this possible? What was with this holy power? It had mastered both an abyss-type quasi-divine skill and a cleansing-type quasi-divine skill? Quack! As the 2 examiners were shocked, when the golden cloak behind Ducky fluttered, it stabbed the demon-subduing pestle into the ground. In the next moment, the abyssal fluctuations on its body completely disappeared, and only the power of cleansing was left on its body. At this moment, Master Adolf and Xie Zhichuan were stunned. They looked at the monster duck in front of them in confusion. Firstly, it was the initial abyssal fluctuations that were like super-divine. Secondly, the cleansing fluctuations that were on par with the abyssal fluctuations made it difficult for them to understand. Just now, Master Adolf almost thought that a divine-level assassin of the Abyss race had infiltrated the Environmental Protection Association. What's with the power of your Abyss pet? Don't tell me that a native life form of a planet polluted by the Abyss can control the power of the Abyss to this extent. Master Adolf said. Shiyu said, the Abyss race leader who invaded our mother planet is a super-divine Abyss evil god. The inheritance it left behind is one of its eyes. We found this eye of the evil god. After purification, we fused it into its body, so the abyssal power contained in its body is indeed a little greater than ordinary abyssal pets. However, it's definitely not a problem to control it normally. A demigod fused the eye of the super-divine Abyss evil god into its body and even successfully suppressed it? When Adolf heard that, he looked at Shiyu and Ducky with trembling pupils. Kid, what the F***ck was this joke? Where did you get it? How could the super-divine level eye of the evil god be cleansed just like that? Chapter 1332, 1332 Becoming the President of the Environmental Protection Association in Seconds, 1. 1332 Becoming the President of the Environmental Protection Association in Seconds, 1. In the Environmental Protection Association of Blue Wave City, the soaring abyssal aura shocked everyone almost immediately. This was the Environmental Protection Association, the paradise of purifiers. The sudden appearance of such a majestic abyssal aura directly made many purifiers put down their work and look in the direction of the fluctuations with serious expressions. An unfamiliar divine-level abyss aura? Who is it? In the president's office of the Environmental Protection Association, a beautiful woman in a white cheongsam looked at Master Adolf's workplace. In the Environmental Protection Association, it wasn't that no one contracted abyss pets, nor was it that there weren't divine-level abyss pets. However, every one of them was registered, and everyone was already very familiar with it. However, this time, under the stimulation of the Ducky race, the abyssal aura produced by the resonance of the eye of the evil god and the abyss heart was completely unfamiliar. Moreover, the high-quality abyssal power of the evil god's eye made those environmental hunters who had been to the abyss battlefield feel like a super-divine abyssal life suppression power had descended into the Environmental Protection Association. Almost without hesitation, many divine-level purifiers, including the president of the Blue Wave branch of the Environmental Protection Association, headed to the assessment venue where the duck had descended. Then, they saw a scene that surprised them. Master Adolf was stunned on the spot. Master Adolf's disciple and her pet supported themselves on the spot with difficulty, almost fainting. At the scene, there were no abyss pets at all. There was only an unfamiliar young man and a dark blue duck filled with golden holy light holding the Vajra demon subduing staff. Quack! At this moment, Ducky also noticed that many powerful lives filled with the power of divine-level cleansing had come around. It couldn't help but swallow its saliva. Shiyu was also silent. From the looks of it, Ducky's crowd control of the abyssal power was still not very good. When the other party stimulated it, it almost went berserk. This was only a demigod-level life form. However, this was also related to Ducky taking the initiative to withstand it. If Ducky directly used the wave vision to cooperate with the Vajra demon subduing staff, the other party's poisonous pollen couldn't come into contact with Ducky at all. At that moment, Master Adolf also noticed the dozen or so divine-level purifiers who had suddenly descended here. Among them, he looked at the beautiful woman in the lead and immediately knew that she was attracted by the abyssal fluctuations of the duck just now. It was mainly because he really didn't expect that a demigod-level abyss pet could erupt with such a rich abyss deterrence. Otherwise, it would definitely be able to control the commotion of the assessment in this building area. Master Adolf, what's going on here? Xing Nan, the president of the Blue Wave Environmental Protection Association, looked at the messy courtyard and asked. Yeah, Master Adolf, what happened to the fluctuations just now? It was spread from you, right? The other higher-ups of the Environmental Protection Association also asked Master Adolf. This, Master Adolf's disciple, Xie Shichuan, swallowed his saliva crazily as he comforted his companion. He wanted to tell many seniors present that the terrifying abyssal fluctuations just now were released by the demigod-level duck that looked incomparably holy now. Although it was ridiculous, it was the truth. Seniors, I'm very sorry. The aura just now was accidentally created by us, Shiyu said. Quack! Sorry. Ducky also waved the demon subduing staff and said, sorry to disturb you. Under everyone's puzzled expressions, Master Adolf said, that's right. I'm giving this young man an abyss pet assessment. I just didn't expect the abyssal power in this abyss duck's body to be so rich and huge. Abyss assessment? President Xingnan looked at Shiyu and Ducky in confusion. The other divine-level purifiers also looked at the duck in confusion. At this moment, the Vajra demon subduing staff and the wave vision were open at the same time. The purifying power of Ducky's body was incomparably dazzling. Such a strong purifying wave was enough to be at the top, even in the demigod-level cleansing life of the Blue Wave Environmental Protection Association. So were they sure that they were here to participate in the assessment of the abyss pets and not to participate in the assessment to enter the Environmental Protection Association? Well, the abyssal power just now indeed erupted from this abyss duck. Moreover, this abyss duck also mastered a relatively powerful cleansing power. It can suppress the abyssal power at will, Master Adolf said with a toothache. This is the first time I've seen such a strange life form. He didn't dare say that life forms that cultivated the power of cleansing and the power of the abyss didn't exist, but he could confirm that there were definitely very few. This path was definitely incomparably difficult. These two powers were simply in conflict. How did this young man in front of him let the abyssal power and cleansing power of this duck reach such a powerful level? Young people. At this moment, President Xingnan looked at Shiyu and Ducky and said, can you display the abyss form just now? All right. Shiyu looked at Ducky. Quack! In the next moment, Ducky nodded and closed its golden eyes again. Under the gaze of many divine-level purifiers, right on the heels of that, it opened its eyes again. Eye of the Evil God, activate! With a bang, the eye of the heart that contained the power of cleansing directly turned into a dark red evil god eye with a V-shaped pattern. Accompanied by the sound of heartbeats, the golden-blue fluctuations on the duck's body were instantly dyed by the black fluctuations of the tide. It was like a painting splashed with ink, and magic power surged. Chapter 1333 Becoming the President of the Environmental Protection Association in Seconds, 2. 1333 Becoming the President of the Environmental Protection Association in Seconds, 2. Roar. Under the duck's roar, abyssal fluctuations shot into the sky and danced in the 9 heavens. The infinitely spreading abyssal fluctuations outside its body instantly made the cleansing spiritual plants in this courtyard wither, making the air wail and the sky change color. When the terrifying abyssal aura swept in all directions, the pupils of the poison mushroom of the Yi race that had just been awakened by Xie Jichuan trembled again. It was shocked and fainted again. The surrounding divine-level purifiers and their partner who had mastered the divine-level cleansing power sensed this extremely high-quality abyssal power and subconsciously protected themselves. They condensed the effect of the cleansing wave to interfere with the abyssal power and revealed incredulous expressions. They looked at this huge dark blue duck with incredulous expressions. The power of the abyss previously was actually displayed by this duck that had mastered the powerful cleansing power. Moreover, at this moment, looking at this demigod-level duck that erupted with abyssal fluctuations comparable to divine level, it was still calm and sober, making these divine-level purifiers feel that it was ridiculous. Master Adolf, what's wrong with them? President Xingnan couldn't help but ask. It was very difficult to imagine that such a ridiculous combination would appear in their blue wave branch. Master Adolf said, his name is Shiyu. He's from the second-level realm, the floating realm. He only came to the World King planet in the past month. According to him, his mother planet was invaded by a super divine-level abyss life form very long ago and won a battle. Many divine-level purifiers revealed surprised expressions. What? It was invaded by the super divine-level abyss race and even successfully won. However, although it expelled the enemy, that abyss evil god left behind an eye. As an abyss inheritance, it continued to wreak havoc on that planet. This abyss duck is a local transcendent life form that was infected by the power of the abyss and mutated into an abyss life form. At the same time, what I don't understand is that they said that in the end, they found the eye of the evil god and successfully cleansed and absorbed it. That's why they can have such powerful abyssal power. What? As soon as Master Adolf finished speaking, the surrounding divine-level purifiers were shocked again. Successfully cleansing the super divine-level eye of the evil god? How was this possible? Tell me, where are you from? President Xingnan was shocked and asked Shiyu again. Shiyu said, the floating realm. The floating realm. Upon hearing the name of this realm, many divine-level purifiers felt that it was a little familiar. President Xingnan pondered for a moment and said, the realm lord of your realm is the one who once successfully hunted a super divine life form above his level in the void battlefield. Yes, Shiyu said. I'm from the same hometown as the World King. He just received me on the World King planet recently. He was the one who asked me to come to the Environmental Protection Association to register the identity of the Abyss pet. When Shiyu finished speaking, the surrounding divine-level purifiers were stunned. Then, they whispered to each other. The floating realm. No wonder it sounded so familiar. Decades ago, there was a battle that ended with the death of the super divine life form on the World King planet. However, the enemy camp's super divine life form also suffered a huge loss of vitality and was extremely weak. Originally, with the death of the super divine life form, the situation on this battlefield had already been determined, but no one expected that two divine-level beast tamers who didn't care about their lives would enter the enemy camp and successfully hunt the weak super divine life form, reversing the situation on this battlefield. One of them was the Space Emperor. The other was Lin Feng, who was pulled to the battlefield by the Space Emperor. The two of them were also bold. They directly targeted the weak super-divine life form and wanted to see if it could drop the source of transcendence. No one expected Shiyu to actually come from the same planet as that world master Wang Kong. I see. President Xingnan looked at the abyss duck that had suppressed the abyss aura again, as well as Shiyu, who still had a black and white bear race hanging on his shoulder. Master Adolf, since his abyss pet can control the power of the abyss that exceeds its level and won't lose itself, he'll pass the assessment. Next, I just have to confirm with the floating realm and help him complete his identity verification. Yes, Master Adolf said with a nod. At that moment, many divine-level purifiers still sized up Ducky in surprise. Therefore, the so-called Eye of the Evil God was probably helped cleanse this young man by the Realm Lord of the Floating Realm. They could only think of this possibility. Although they felt that the Space Emperor himself didn't have the ability to cleanse the super-divine level Eye of the Evil God, such a world overlord who could kill a super-divine life form above his level definitely had rich connections and foundation. It wasn't impossible to find a way to cleanse the Eye of the Evil God. And to be nurtured by the Realm Lord of the Floating Realm like this, Shiyu was definitely a genius the other party thought very highly of. Well, with the strength of this abyss duck, it was indeed so. They felt that this abyss duck definitely had the level to enter the top 1000 before the God-sealing battle. If the Beast Tamer was also outstanding and mastered the divine level strengthening ability, if the two parties cooperated well, it might have the ability to charge into the top 100. At this level, it would be strange if a second-level realm didn't nurture him. Even in a first-level realm, he was a rare genius. Now, Master Adolf's disciple, Xie Shichuan, had a complicated expression. She was the person who had experienced Ducky's power the most directly. Her companion from the Mo race was definitely not weak. In the end, she was knocked out by an abyssal deterrent of the same level. This was completely unimaginable. Chapter 1334 Becoming the President of the Environmental Protection Association in Seconds, 3. 1334 Becoming the President of the Environmental Protection Association in Seconds, 3. If she didn't know Shiyu's level in advance, she would definitely think that the duck was at the divine level. This beast tamer from the floating realm was really a monster. Thank you, President. Thank you, Master Adolf. At the same time, when Shiyu heard that the assessment was smooth and he could immediately help Ducky register its identity, he couldn't help but smile. After the registration was completed, he could send Ducky out to battle without worrying about any impact. All right. Waiting for Ducky to kill in the God-sealing war, the Eyes of the Abyss Evil God had already been given to Ducky. If it couldn't defeat a bunch of demigods, Ducky would leave the group. By the way, Shiyu suddenly said, well, Masters, I still want to join the Environmental Protection Association. The Environmental Protection Association was the largest purification-type resource purchase platform on the World King planet, and it was also the only channel to legally buy Abyss-type resources. It could even go to the Abyss battlefield through the Environmental Protection Association. Shiyu felt that if one day, he and Susu wanted to show off in the starry sky and join the Environmental Protection Association, it was an inevitable choice. Who? Do you want to join the Environmental Protection Association? President Xingnan smiled and looked at the abyss duck. Although this duck was an abyss pet, it cultivated the power of the abyss and the power of purification at the same time. As long as he mastered the purification skill, he could join the Environmental Protection Association. Not only did Shiyu meet the criteria, but he also far exceeded it. It was also a good thing for such a genius to join their Blue Wave branch. Yes. Shiyu nodded and said, I heard that an environmental protection hunter who becomes an Environmental Protection Association can go to the Abyss battlefield. My mother planet was once invaded by the Abyss race, and I suffered a lot because of this. Even my contracted partner was infected and became an Abyss race and suffered a lot. It's my dream to be an environmental protection hunter and counterattack the Abyss race since I was young. Ducky A? Really? Why did it remember that it took the initiative to receive the power of the Abyss? 11 cast its gaze at Ducky. It was very normal. Shiyu purely wanted to have another dream. Calm down. Good, good. President Xingnan's eyes lit up. He was actually a genius who wanted to go to the Abyss battlefield. That was even rarer. After all, the battlefield where the Dark King army fought was extremely dangerous. Not everyone from the Environmental Protection Association was willing to fight on the battlefield. Usually, those members of the Environmental Protection Association who were willing to go to the battlefield to fight had another name, Environmental Protection Hunter. Xiyu had the intention to go to the battlefield, so it was even more worth absorbing. The various environmental associations lacked such ambitious people. Young man, not bad. Your courage is commendable. The surrounding divine-level cleansing masters also smiled and nodded. All right, Master Adolf, please arrange for him to join the association again, President Xingnan said. After joining the Environmental Protection Association, you can call yourself a purifier. I'll give you a purifier license. Moreover, according to the different purifying abilities, I'll arrange different benefits for you. Xiyu, right? With the purifying level of your Abyss Duck, you can probably become a 1-star purifier. As for the assessment, there's no need. Xiyu's Abyss Duck could even suppress the power of the Abyss at that level. In President Xingnan's opinion, it was more than enough to become a 1-star purifier. In the Environmental Protection Association, for example, the power of the Abyss that could cleanse the Overlord-level power of the Abyss could be called a trainee purifier. Those that could cleanse the power of the Abyss at the demigod level would be called a 1-star purifier. Those that could cleanse the power of the divine-level Abyss would be called a 2-star purifier. The highest was a 3-star purifier that could cleanse the power of the Abyss at the super divine level. Typically, at this level, only super divine beings who were masters of purification, as well as divine-level beings who possessed the abilities of beast tamers through racial talents, combined with various means, could achieve it at the peak of divine-level purification life forms. The basic requirement of the branch presidents of the Environmental Protection Associations of the various first-level realms was to be a 3-star cleanser. Well, President, Xiyu whispered after President Xingnan finished speaking. A 1-star purifier. How poor were the benefits? He didn't join the Environmental Protection Association for the treatment of 1-star, but 3-star. Why don't I take the assessment? I want to participate in the 3-star purifier assessment, Xiyu said. What did you say? Master Adolf was stunned. President Xingnan originally wanted to leave, but when he heard that, he immediately stopped in his tracks. He turned around and looked at Xiyu. You just said that you want to participate in the 3-star purifier assessment. As Xiyu finished speaking, the purifiers present were speechless. Xie Shichuan, who wasn't far from Xiyu, widened his eyes even more and suspected that there was something wrong with his ears. Do you know what a 3-star purifier represents? The corners of President Xingnan's mouth twitched as he asked. It's not impossible for your Abyss Duck to barely try the 2-star purifier assessment, but 3-star requires the ability to cleanse the power of the super divine level Abyss. Xiyu nodded and said, I know. Before coming to the assessment, I've done sufficient investigation. I think we have this ability now. That super divine eye of the evil god was cleansed by us. Therefore, I still want to give it a try. President Xingnan? Master Adolf and the other divine-level purifiers? Who? What did Xiyu just say? The super divine eye of the evil god was cleansed by them? Wasn't it the floating realm master who used his connections to find someone he knew to cleanse it? Impossible! The middle-aged beautiful woman, President Xingnan, stared at Xiyu decisively and said, if you want to cleanse the power of the Abyss at the super divine level, even if you use various favorable conditions, you have to at least have the strength of a top-notch divine realm. Chapter 1335 Becoming the President of the Environmental Protection Association in Seconds, 4. 1335 Becoming the President of the Environmental Protection Association in Seconds, 4. You're only at level 9, and only at the demigod level. Just based on this, you want to cleanse the power of the super divine level Abyss? Xie Shichuan, who was about the same age as Xiyu, also looked at Xiyu with a ridiculous expression. If Xiyu said that he wanted to take the 2-star purifier assessment, she would still feel that Xiyu was impressive and admired him. However, no matter how she heard it, a 3-star purifier sounded like a daydream. In the entire Blue Wave Environmental Protection Association, President Xing Nan was the only 3-star purifier. "It's not this duck," Shiyu said. "I have another pet that specializes in the power of cleansing. It's the cleansed eye of the evil god. In short, I just want to give it a try." With that said, Shiyu directly summoned Susu, who looked like the current Starry Sky slime. The appearance of Susu, who was the size of a basketball, stunned everyone, and felt that it was ridiculous. This person had contracted quite a lot of pets. However, the pet Shiyu mentioned that could cleanse the power of the super divine level abyss was such a guy? Why did it look so similar to a slime? Pets like slimes weren't rare. On the major planets, they were mainstream low-level elemental life forms. Quack! Big Sister Susu is awesome. It taught me my cleansing ability. At this moment, the duck praised Susu at the side. Its words directly stunned the purifiers present. Did they hear wrongly? The cleansing power of this duck was taught by this slime? What a joke! This worked? This is an ore that has been infected by the radiation of the Yun race. If you're really as powerful as you say, cleanse it and take a look. At this moment, after a moment of silence, President Xing Nan directly took out an ore from her spatial equipment. A huge, black rock that was 1 meter tall and wide appeared on the scene. It was filled with violent radiation fluctuations that kept radiating the surrounding environment. The feeling it gave Shiyu was quite similar to Yunan's power fluctuations. At this moment, when this ore was taken out, many purifiers narrowed their eyes and could tell that this was an ore that had been polluted by the life of the divine level Yun race. Although it couldn't compare to the power of the super divine level abyss, even they would have to spend a lot of effort to cleanse it. The cleansing time ranged from a few minutes to a few hours. All right. At the same time, Shiyu nodded. Nink. At this moment, as President Xing Nan took out this ore, Susu was also very clean. Just as everyone was planning to see if Shiyu was bragging, Susu turned around. Under the combination of the Star C contract and the origin wave, faint blue ripples spread on the rocket soar. In almost a few seconds, with all the purifiers in disbelief and opening their mouths wide, the radiation and dark color of the ore faded, turning into a divine-level metal ore shining with golden light. In less than 10 seconds, the cleansing was successful. Not to mention these 2-star purifiers, even President Xing Nan himself was stunned on the spot. As for Master Adolf's disciple, he looked like he had seen a ghost. He suspected that he had fainted like his pet and had yet to wake up. How is this possible? Many people exclaimed. What the hell? How was this possible? What happened just now? They looked at the calm Starry Sky slime as if they had seen a ghost. President Xing Nan's breathing was also rapid. She felt that it was unbelievable. She took out another flower-type resource that had been polluted by the power of the divine-level Yi race. Susu didn't say a word and continued to cleanse the origin fluctuations. This time, in less than a minute, the grey-purple petal was directly cleansed into pink. The color was incomparably bright, filled with life fluctuations, and the pollution source was gone. Nink! Is there anything else? It can all be cleansed. Susu was eager to try. After cleansing these, the Star C contract didn't backfire. All right. This time, it wasn't just President Xing Nan. The various 2-star purifiers also took out the resources they were cleansing. Susu casually looked over. It cleansed more than 10 things at the same time without any effort. It only took less than a minute to cleanse them all. At this moment, all the purifiers were shocked to the extreme. What race is it? President Xing Nan asked in shock. It's a little sprite born from the power of faith condensed by the ocean creatures on our mother planet who hope to cleanse the abyss, Shiyu said. Well. But after arriving at the Starry Sky, it evolved again. As soon as he finished speaking, everyone's expression stiffened. Cleansing Star Spirit. It's definitely the Cleansing Star Spirit. Master Adolf suddenly said. You guys, follow me. At this moment, President Xingnan's expression was shocked. She directly stepped forward and pulled Shiyu to a place. Shiyu, Susu, and 11 were stunned. Ducky jogged and followed. The purifiers present realized something and followed. Shiyu was initially stunned, but soon, he understood where the other party had brought him. This was a special building. In the building was a black pearl polluted by the power of the super divine abyss. You guys, try cleansing this. After President Xingnan opened the seal of the building, he looked at the abyssal fluctuation spreading in the room and said to Shiyu and Susu. All right. Although Shiyu felt that the abyssal power of this black pearl was even richer than the eye of the evil god, and that Susu might need to cleanse for a few days, they only needed to prove that Susu could indeed cleanse the power of the super divine level abyss. Chapter 1336 Becoming the President of the Environmental Protection Association in Seconds, 5. 1336 Becoming the President of the Environmental Protection Association in Seconds, 5. The purifiers present weren't unfamiliar with this pearl. Every branch of the Environmental Protection Association had a fixed mission every year, such as cleansing a certain number of polluted resources. Among them, cleansing resources polluted by the power of the super divine level was also one of the quest indicators. This black pearl was one of the cleansing quests of the Blue Wave Environmental Protection Association this year. It was something President Xingnan needed to cleanse. Even President Xingnan would probably have to cleanse with difficulty for a period of time. However, at this moment, under everyone's stunned expressions, as the starry sky slime let out a cry, a huge wave of power bloomed from its body. In an instant, the wave of the color of the starry sky directly suppressed the abyss power on the pearl. Moreover, all the purifiers could sense that the abyss power on the pearl was slowly being eliminated. Although the speed wasn't as fast as before, it was really slowly disappearing. The power of the super divine level abyss couldn't counter the pollution cleansing wave. Instead, it was suppressed by the cleansing wave until it couldn't resist. It was very difficult for the purifiers present to believe that such a ridiculous scene was something a demigod-level life form could do. Impossible. Even if it's a cleansing star spirit, it's impossible to cleanse the power of the super divine level abyss at the demigod level. Xie Jichuan, who had heard her teacher's words just now, shook her head fiercely and looked at this scene. Indeed, it's impossible to purely cleanse a star spirit, but what if this cleansing star spirit also masters a cleansing divine skill that contains top-notch laws? President Xingnan said. The strength of the cleansing star spirit race was that they could freely mobilize the power of the starry sky to strengthen cleansing-type moves. Their racial ability was to infinitely mobilize the power of the starry sky, but the cleansing methods were different. It was possible for metal, wood, water, fire, earth, light, wind, spirit, time, and various other elements. Therefore, even if they were both cleansing star spirits, there were still differences in strength. As for Shiyu's contract, to be able to master such a strong cleansing power and ignore consumption, there was no doubt that he had definitely signed a contract with the starry sky. But even so, cleansing a divine-level pollution source above his level should be the limit. But in front of them, it could easily cleanse the super divine level pollution source without the support of a beast tamer. Apart from the combination of the starry sky contract and a top-notch cleansing divine skill, they couldn't think of a second one. President Xingnan's pupils trembled. He felt that he had discovered a rare treasure. It might take a few days to cleanse this. We should be considered to have met the standard of a 3-star purifier, right? Shiyu scratched his head and said. The purifiers present were speechless. Not only did they meet the standard, but this ability could even be the branch president of an environmental protection association in a first-level realm. You just said that you want to join our Blue Wave Environmental Protection Association, right? The president of the Blue Wave Environmental Protection Association pressed Shiyu's shoulder and said excitedly, "Little guy, you have to keep your word. From today onwards, you're the vice president of our Blue Wave Environmental Protection Association." Xie Jichuan? Shiyu, Susu, Ducky. Holy shit, he had just joined the Environmental Protection Association and was already the vice president of a branch. Was it so exciting? You might not know what your ability represents, but please believe that joining the Environmental Protection Association is definitely your best choice. Next, I'll arrange a place for you to stay. You can stay at the Environmental Protection Association first and treat this place as your home, President Xingnan said with a gentle expression. The purifiers beside him had never noticed that their president had such a kind side. However, at this moment, their hearts were also shocked. They knew very well what the appearance of the cleansing star spirit that had mastered a top-notch cleansing law divine skill meant to the Environmental Protection Association. 100 years later, perhaps there would be another super divine existence expert in the power of cleansing. At that moment, Shiyu, Susu, Ducky, 11, and the others communicated in silence. Look, joining the Environmental Protection Association and cozying up to the officials was indeed the best choice. He had just arrived in an unfamiliar place and was instantly appointed president of the Environmental Protection Association. His status might not be inferior to that of the Space Emperor and Senior Lin Feng. That day, in the headquarters of the Environmental Protection Association in World King City, ever since they captured the traces of the birth of the cleansing star spirit the last time, they immediately began to set up search work. They even found a time element god who was an expert in premonition. However, they didn't expect that before they could start the search, the news of the cleansing star spirit had already come from the branch first. The information about Shiyu, Susu, and Ducky immediately spread from the Blue Wave branch to the ears of a super divine level figure in the headquarters. Floating Realm, Sky City. The Space Emperor was originally cultivating daily, but with this abnormality, he took out his World King token and fell into deep thought. Apart from being a symbol of identity, the World King token could also be seen as a communication device for the official factions of the World King planet to contact the world overlords of the various realms. Generally speaking, only super divine experts from official institutions had the right to directly contact the various world overlords through the World King token. At this moment, the Space Emperor was more puzzled. He couldn't think of anyone who would contact him through the World King token. In the next moment, the Space Emperor activated the World King token. A cold voice came from the other side. Floating Realm Master, I'm the Vice President of the World King City's Environmental Protection Association. Shiyu is from your floating realm, right? Ah. Upon hearing this voice, the Space Emperor Kong's heart almost skipped a beat, and he almost blacked out. He suddenly had a bad feeling. Shiyu, this kid, went to register an identity card for the Abyss Pet. Why did he ridiculously let a super divine level beast tamer find him? Chapter 1337, 1337 Making Me Stronger, 1. 1337 Making Me Stronger, 1. The Vice President of the Environmental Protection Association, Bing Ling. Emperor Kong had heard of this name. She was one of the few super divine level humans on World King Planet. Moreover, she and her contracted partner had both reached the super divine level, which was rare. Unlike the 5 super divines of the Blue Planet Divine Alliance who were unwilling to go to the battlefield, she was a real combatant and had always been on the Dark King Army's must-kill list. It could be said that although they were all super divines, she was definitely one of the super divines at the top of the World King Planet. As for the super divines of the 5 major god races on Blue Planet, they could only be considered local powerhouses. The difference between the two parties was roughly equivalent to the difference between normal totems and totem half-gods. There were also strong and weak super divines. Because of this, the Space Emperor was puzzled. Why would such a big shot look for him? What exactly did Shiyu do outside? Lord Bingling. Shiyu is indeed from the floating realm. May I ask, what happened? The Space Emperor asked carefully. According to what he knew, Shiyu was a person who never stopped. If Shiyu really caused something and involved a super divine level, it would be troublesome. Of course, the Space Emperor really couldn't imagine what trouble Shiyu could cause. Could it be that he could tear down the Environmental Protection Association like how he cracked the ruins? The Space Emperor had already worked very hard to let his imagination run wild. Naturally. Floating Realm Master, you've done very well. You unearthed such a genius for the Environmental Protection Association, Bingling said. The Space Emperor was stunned. Who? He had unearthed such a genius for the Environmental Protection Association? She was talking about Xiaoyu? He thought for a moment. How could it be Xiaoyu? The Environmental Protection Association had always only taken in members who were experts at cleansing. Did Xiaoyu have it? Yes, he did. Xiaoyu had contracted a blue sea sprite condensed from the cleansing faith of the blue planet's ocean. But logically speaking, it couldn't be because of this. Although not every planet could condense a life form like the blue sea sprite, there was a chance for such a race to be born on any planet above mid-level. In the entire universe, although the races of blue sea sprites needed to rely on the right time, place, and sharpness to condense, it was definitely not a small number. In addition, such a faith god was only considered powerful on its planet. If it left its territory, its ability would decrease very much. Therefore, the Space Emperor didn't think that Xiaoyu could alarm the super divine expert of the Environmental Protection Association headquarters by contracting only one blue sea sprite. Even the higher-ups of the Environmental Protection Association of the Blue Wave world probably wouldn't take another look at Xiaoyu because of the blue sea sprite. Lord Bingling. What do you mean? The genius you're talking about is Xiaoyu? The Space Emperor was stunned. Looks like you don't understand his situation, Bingling said. The Space Emperor was all ears. He wanted to see what Xiaoyu was up to again. Xiaoyu of the Floating Realm passed the 3-star Purifier assessment in the Blue Wave Realm. Now, he has already become the Vice President of the Blue Wave Realm Environmental Protection Association of the First-Level Realm. His status is already equivalent to you, a second-level World Overlord. In his 20s, such an achievement isn't bad. As soon as Bingling finished speaking, the Space Emperor immediately coughed. He widened his eyes and looked at the World King token in his hand in disbelief. What did you say? At this moment, the Space Emperor completely suspected that his ears were spoiled and he had heard wrongly. Damn it, he wanted Xiaoyu to go to the Environmental Protection Association to get an identity card for the Abyss pet. This kid directly became the vice president? What a joke! Lord Bingling, how is this possible? The Space Emperor still couldn't believe it. Ha, congratulations! The planet-level cleansing faith sprite he contracted successfully evolved into a cleansing star spirit. Moreover, he has displayed extremely extraordinary talent. With his talent, he will come to the headquarters of the Environmental Protection Association to be nurtured sooner or later. I'm informing you now only because I want to understand more from you and need your cooperation in doing some work. Cleansing star spirit? The Space Emperor's brain rumbled when he heard that. The blue sea sprite evolved into a cleansing star spirit? That cleansing star spirit ranked 77th among the races in the starry sky? The Space Emperor naturally knew this heaven-defying race. They were known to have the strongest cleansing talent. Although their overall battle power wasn't the strongest, against the Dark King army, cleansing star spirits were definitely the strongest race. The strongest experts of the Environmental Protection Association in the past had all been cleansing star spirits, and now, it was no exception. However, why did Xiaoyu's blue sea sprite evolve into a cleansing star spirit? Planet Faith God, Cosmic Faith God. This was on a completely different level. The Space Emperor was shocked. If it was a cleansing star spirit, he finally understood why it would alarm the super divine experts of the Environmental Protection Association. Such a race would definitely be nurtured by the Environmental Protection Association with all its might. As long as the cleansing star spirit grew up, it would definitely be a general of the Environmental Protection Association. Yes, you understand now, right? I understand, the Space Emperor gritted his teeth. Therefore, Xiaoyu became the vice president of the Blue Wave World Environmental Protection Association. The Blue Wave domain was a first-level domain, and the World Overlord was a super-divine level. The status of the president of an official organization branch like the Environmental Protection Association was also stronger than that of an ordinary second-level domain overlord. Therefore, with Xiaoyu's current status as the vice president and his identity as a 3-star purifier, it was completely no problem for him to be on equal footing with ordinary second-level world overlords. Chapter 1338, 1338 Making Me Stronger, 2. 1338 Making Me Stronger, 2. At the thought that Shiyu had caught up to the status he had worked hard for hundreds of years in the starry sky in less than a month, the Space Emperor felt that it was very ridiculous. He felt that his life of chasing women, training in life and death, and cultivating hard had all been wasted. Wasn't Shiyu an archaeologist? He thought that Shiyu would become famous in the cosmic sea through the ruins of the archaeological era in the future, but why didn't the current situation follow his prediction? To be honest, he felt that Shiyu's Chaos Panda, Green Dragon, World Destruction Dragon, and other pets were already ridiculous. He didn't expect another Cleansing Star Spirit to appear. This was the most ridiculous. That's good, President Bing Ling said. Floating Realm Master, the lives that walk out of your blue planet are really not simple. If I'm not wrong, you're planning to let your mother planet wander to the surroundings of the Cosmic Sea's World King planet, right? With the size of the Environmental Protection Association, they naturally knew that the Space Emperor, Lin Feng, and Blue Planet had the same mother planet. So many geniuses had been born on an intermediate-level planet. Bing Ling didn't believe that it was just an ordinary intermediate-level planet. Even if it was a high-level planet, there weren't many ridiculous ones. Now, she was quite interested in Blue Planet. Yes, Lord Bing Ling, we do have such a plan, the Space Emperor said. This wasn't anything strange. Many experts who had successfully worked hard on World King Planet would guide their mother planet to the surroundings of World King Planet. Next, our Environmental Protection Association can provide some support and help to your mother planet relocation plan. What do you think? Bing Ling said. It would naturally be best if we can obtain the help of the Environmental Protection Association, the Space Emperor said with a cold expression. In the starry sky of the universe, there were many dangers. A planet wandering was far more dangerous than sailing alone. But if there was the protection of a large faction like the Environmental Protection Association, the risk would be reduced to the minimum. The Space Emperor really didn't expect that Shiyu, Lin Feng, and the 5 god races would find another breakthrough in less than a month after coming to the World King planet. Yeah. I'll personally follow up on the subsequent matters. In addition, Shiyu will still be a member of your floating realm. He's still too weak now. Before the divine level, I shouldn't bring him to the headquarters, nor will I let him go to the battlefield. I understand. The Space Emperor said, I'll let Shiyu train seriously during this period of time. He seems to have the intention to participate in the God-sealing battle. Before the divine level, the floating realm will do its best to nurture him. Bing Ling said, perhaps, with his current ability, he can already obtain a large number of growth resources on his own. Therefore, you just have to protect him well first. The God-sealing battle is indeed a very good training venue. I'll set a small goal for him first to get into the top 10 before advancing to the divine level. The Space Emperor was stunned. This was him being Shiyu's bodyguard. At the moment, although Shiyu had huge potential, it was impossible for the Environmental Protection Association to lock Shiyu up like a bird in a cage. After all, even if he was a genius, he would go to the battlefield sooner or later. However, Shiyu was indeed too weak at the moment. It had to protect him. It was impossible to send a super divine to protect him. A super divine was not so free. No matter how talented Shiyu was, he wasn't qualified to be protected by a super divine, and there weren't many suitable candidates either. After thinking about it, with the Space Emperor who defeated a super divine expert above his level and was from Shiyu's hometown, he was undoubtedly the best candidate. After all, Shiyu's subsequent growth would also be beneficial to the floating realm. The Space Emperor would definitely spend much more effort to protect Shiyu than others. All right. At this moment, after understanding the intention of the Environmental Protection Association, the Space Emperor nodded and admitted it. Wasn't it just being a bodyguard? However, after hearing the small goal President Bing Ling mentioned, the Space Emperor hesitated. Shiyu, in the top 10, who was she looking down on? Although the Cleansing Star Spirit wasn't good at battle, Shiyu didn't just have this. In his opinion, Shiyu definitely had the potential to charge into first place. In a few years, This big shot of the Environmental Protection Association would definitely be extremely shocked. Now, he should personally go to Blue Wave World first. The Space Emperor still couldn't accept the change in identity. Why was Shiyu suddenly on equal footing with him? No, according to the headquarters of the Environmental Protection Association, he had to protect Shiyu well. This clearly valued Shiyu more than a second-level world overlord like him. The corners of the Space Emperor's mouth twitched. Why don't he let Lin Feng be Shiyu's bodyguard? The Space Emperor felt that Lin Feng was more free than him. He was clearly more talented than him, but he didn't know how to work hard. It was really ridiculous for him to travel leisurely all day. It was just right for him to be Shiyu's bodyguard. He could even help Shiyu deduce the evolution path of the pet. At the same time, Shiyu had already carried his bag and checked in. He moved into the luxurious, Mystic Realm villa prepared by the Blue Wave Environmental Protection Association for the Vice President. It was even more beautiful than his residence in Sky City. A fresh cleansing aura filled every corner. Even if he cultivated some skunks and bugs here, it would probably be fragrant. Wutilda Shiyu let out the little white dragons cry happily. Looks like the reserved room is going to be rejected. Ling's clone, who had been on Shiyu's wrist, sighed slightly when it saw this. Therefore, plans couldn't keep up with changes. Chapter 1339 Making Me Stronger, 3. 1339 Making Me Stronger, 3. Soon, in the room, Shiyu was lying freely on the sofa. He glanced at Ducky, Susu, and the others in front of him and chuckled. Hee, I didn't expect to become the vice president just like that. Not bad. The vice president is also good. I probably just have to hold a position. There's no need to be in charge like the president, Shiyu said as he stretched lazily. Nink. Susu jumped onto the table and waved left and right, showing off its ambitions and looking at the future, indicating that it was still not enough. Its eyes lit up. They were the highest command of the Environmental Protection Department on Blue Planet. How could they be satisfied with a vice president of a branch here? So when would he fight for the highest position, that of president of the Environmental Protection Association headquarters? It looked at Shiyu with starry eyes. As long as it added points and followed, it shouldn't be a big problem. Quack! Quack! Ducky reported to the big sister. If it wanted to plan this, it might need the clueless teen's turtle to be the military advisor. This, it was very good at. Ducky had already started to look forward to it. At that time, it would let the turtle assist it and become the commander of the Dark King Army. Then, it would let the turtle assist Suso and become the president of the Environmental Protection Association. Directly turning a cosmic battle into a civil war, wasn't this more exciting than the God-sealing civil war? Shiyu? They might as well kill the two cosmic emperors, Dark King and World King. Woo. After walking around, 11 walked to Shiyu and tugged at him. It drooled and had watery eyes. So it had become the vice president of the Environmental Protection Association. What good stuff was there? For example, food that it had never seen before. I reckon that as for the Blue Wave World Environmental Protection Association, there will definitely be a lot of vegetables and fruits that cleanse the body and mind, Shiyu said. As for bamboo, I can't guarantee it. Raw. 11 expressed that it was fine. It felt that it had fallen too far behind recently. Ever since its level became higher and it was inconvenient to undergo special training, it hadn't made up for the hard work debt through adding points for a long time. At the thought of this, 11 couldn't help but cover its eyes. It was determined to cleanse its lazy heart through this meal. Nink. Susu frowned at the side, indicating that it could help 11 cleanse. Woo. No, it has to be cleansed by eating. 11 argued reasonably. Nink. You just want to eat different things. Susu saw through it at a glance. Quack. Duck. Ducky nodded at the side, indicating that what Big Sister Susu said made sense. 11 was stunned. Damn it, it was just a panda. Was it wrong to want to eat? Was it wrong? Also, why didn't Ducky respect it recently? Wu, as the pets communicated, beside them, Shiyu had already observed every corner of this Mystic Realm villa with his psychic power to understand this new home. Then, he looked outside the villa. A person was slowly coming over. Who else could it be but President Xingnan? Shiyu, are you there? Outside, when President Xingnan walked over with a smile, she called out to Shiyu. I'm here. Shiyu hurriedly went out to welcome her. He looked at the beautiful woman in a white cheongsam embroidered with pink peach patterns and felt that this president was a little similar to legend Hua Xiajin. President, what's wrong? It's nothing, I came to take a look. How is it? Are you satisfied with this place? Very satisfied. Speaking of which, President Xingnan, do you really want me to be the vice president of the Blue Wave branch? Shiyu said in embarrassment. I'm afraid I don't have much experience. After all, I just joined the Environmental Protection Association. Isn't it a little inappropriate? Shiyu mainly wanted to ask if he could only be the vice president and not work. President Xingnan smiled and said, it's just a vice president. The requirements aren't that strict. With your current ability, no one can say anything. At most, you just need to carry out some missions to cleanse the pollution source regularly. This shouldn't be a problem for you, right? Shiyu said, that's not a problem. Moreover, I've just contacted the headquarters. In fact, the moment Susu evolved into a cleansing star spirit, the headquarters sensed the birth of a new cleansing star spirit. If nothing goes wrong, the vice president of a branch is just your starting point. There will be a larger stage waiting for you in the future. Therefore, you just have to treat this place as a stepping stone to train yourself. Cleansing Star Spirit. Shiyu looked at Susu. Therefore, although he had named Susu's new race the Star Sea Sprite, in the eyes of the people on the World King planet, its current race should be the Cleansing Star Spirit. Such a race didn't seem to be unique in the universe, but it was still very strong. Ranked 77th among the races in the starry sky. In the entire universe, it was already a very impressive number. 11 had always wanted to get a racial ranking, but it didn't expect Susu to evolve in one go. Apart from that, is there nothing else I need to do? Shiyu asked. President Xingnan said, there's no need to do anything. You can do whatever you originally planned to do next. The headquarters seems to plan to invite you to work at the headquarters after you enter the divine level. As for now, you just have to use the two identities of a 3-star purifier and the vice president of the Blue Wave Environmental Protection Association to grow as soon as possible. Use your advantage well. Your growth resources shouldn't be lacking much. After President Xingnan followed Shiyu into the room, she smiled and sat on the sofa. Chapter 1340 Making Me Stronger, 4. 1340 Making Me Stronger, 4. Do you know why the Environmental Protection Association cares so much about cleansing star spirits? Why can every cleansing star spirit at least grow to a top-notch divine level, or even to a super divine level? Because of the infinite purification ability. Shiyu said. Yes. President Xingnan said, our World King planet fights the Dark King army under the Dark King all year round. The soldiers of the Dark King army are all from the Yun race, the Yi race, the Abyss race, and the others you're familiar with. These races are mobile pollution sources themselves. Not only will their power pollute life, but it will also pollute resources, planets, and the starry sky, and the pollution is very strong. Therefore, a purifier is an indispensable profession on the World King planet. In every battle with the Dark King army, we can seize many contaminated resources. These resources are basically handed to the purifiers to cleanse before being thrown into the market. Some powerful purifiers will also be invited to cleanse the planet after the battle. And the purifiers helping cleanse items aren't free. They can charge a certain fee according to the difficulty of cleansing and then obtain benefits. Although ordinary purifiers collect fees, they will also consume energy and need to be replenished. However, for the cleansing star spirit with unlimited cleansing power, no matter what it cleanses, there will be no substantial consumption at all. Therefore, the cleansing star spirits can obtain a large amount of remuneration through the cleansing work at all times. Exchanging these rewards for growth resources, even if you use a pile of resources, the cleansing star spirit that isn't good at battle can also obtain very strong battle power and increase to a very high level. Now, you have the ability to cleanse the super divine pollution source. And do you know that I'm the only one in the entire Blue Wave world who has the ability to cleanse the super divine pollution source? Moreover, every cleansing requires a long time and a huge amount of consumption. Of course, the remuneration you can obtain every time is also very huge, but for you, there's no need to consider all of this. Therefore, with just a little time, you can obtain a large number of divine-level resources. There's no more cost-effective deal than this. Therefore, you know now how smooth your next path will be, right? President Xingnan said enviously. Shi Yu understood. Wasn't it just legal freeloading of the power of the starry sky to obtain excessive resources? He often did similar things on Blue Planet. He was very familiar with it. The basic quests of the Environmental Protection Association are nothing to you. You can completely cleanse the pollutants continuously. This way, it's equivalent to having an endless supply of resources. Now that you've become a 3-star purifier and the vice president of the Blue Wave Association, your greatest advantage is actually that you can legitimately come into contact with many divine and super divine level pollutants. At this moment, after hearing President Xingnan's words, Shi Yu's eyes lit up as he looked at Susu. Although he couldn't use the Star C contract to add points, it didn't seem bad to be able to use the Star C contract to cleanse the pollution source and obtain a large amount of rewards. This was also part of maintaining the environment of the Sea of Stars. I'll work hard. Shi Yu was full of energy. He didn't expect to find a job on the World King planet so quickly. It was a pity that Teacher Cat didn't follow. This place was filled with opportunities. What was so fun about staying on Blue Planet? Nink! Nink! Susu was also eager to give it a try. Daily cleansing of the pollution source was definitely a very boring job for other pets, but after Susu heard that, it was very excited. Wasn't this much more interesting than Kai Tong's sister watching dramas every day? Not only could it earn money to subsidize the family, but it could also protect the Star Sea environment. It could also take the opportunity to train its skill proficiency. It was simply killing 3 birds with 1 stone. As long as you make a decision, leave the search for a large number of pollutants to the Blue Wave Association. President Xingnan's smile became even wider. Why was she in such a hurry to tie Shi Yu to the Blue Wave Association through the position of vice president? It was all because this way, the additional pollutants cleansed by Shi Yu could also be considered the performance of the Blue Wave branch. This way, the performance of the Blue Wave Environmental Protection Association wouldn't be ranked at the bottom of the various environmental branches every year. President Xingnan and Shi Yu looked at each other. The two of them understood that this was a win-win situation. President Xingnan smiled. The other branches would probably be so envious that their mucus would flow out. Apart from that, there's also this. President Xingnan took out a tool that looked like a crystal ball and said, "This is the cultivation method of the Qi cleansing enhancement talent and the Qi cleansing hand. I wonder if you've cultivated it." No, Shi Yu took a look and said after hesitation. At the moment, he had only cultivated telepathy, psychic domain, psychic resonance, space strengthening talent, body control talent, fusion talent, time strengthening talent. Well, psychic power could barely be considered one. After all, it could strengthen mental strength. "I knew it," President Xingnan said. "The cleansing enhancement talent can allow you to increase the strength of the pet's cleansing skill. As for the cleansing hand, it can allow you to cultivate the cleansing ability yourself. If you encounter any powerful pollution source in the future that causes you to suffer a backlash through the contract, these things are life-saving abilities. There's no harm in cultivating them." She put down the crystal ball, hoping that Shi Yu could wholeheartedly develop his purifier profession.